we've left off on calling down to Mayo Hospital, which is St. Mary's Hospital, saying the seizures got much worse. I woke up from a seizure and I couldn't pick up my head. And at this point, it's Thanksgiving weekend. We're in the middle of a snowstorm. Our goal is to get an ambulance to take us down to where our caretakers are, where they understand what's going on. The nurse line says, do you have a muscle relaxant? So basically, we take a medication, we ice pack me, we heat pack me. We are doing everything we can to calm things down that night. Hoping that things will calm down the next morning. Wake up, things just wind back up the next day. Seizure, pain, can't get to the bathroom. Basically, Mom at that point has slipped a square pad underneath me in case I can't get to the bathroom. And at this point, we're calling down again, and they just say, call your local hospital. The fear, sorry for the dog barking. The fear at this point is that going to the local hospital, they're not going to understand what's going on. They don't have my medical history. They don't know what's going down in Mayo. We're just going to get cross-eyed looks at us. We understand what we've been looking at is it's rare, and they don't know what's going on. We take our chances. We call 911. And what happens next, I'm going to say trigger warning here for anybody who has problems with abuse, physical violence, any trauma background. I'm going to say that this gets a bit bumpy. So I would say stop watching now if you're going to have any problems with that, physical abuse. So we call the ambulance. They come to the snowstorm, and I'm in and out of seizures, having a problem. They show up, the policeman shows up first, and Mom gives them the information we have. Functional neurological disorder. I have non-epileptic seizures. We have been being seen down at Mayo. We want to get down to St. Mary's Hospital next to Mayo. And at this point, we need to get to the nearest hospital. Could we get there and then transfer us down there? Fortunately, that never happens. Then the EMTs show up. We explain I cannot pick up my head. I am in severe pain from the seizure. We are not calling because of the seizures. We are calling due to the pain. At this point, Mom notices something's just not right. How things are being handled when we're retrospectively, when we're looking back, how things were handled was just not right. So I can't pick up my head. I can't really move very well. Instead of putting a neck collar on or sliding a board under me or bringing the gurney down to bed level, they remove my mother's king-size sheet and pick me up and just swing me up to the gurney. And I say, Mom, follow with your car. So there's a car from the hospital back and forth. My best friend is literally on her way up to our house because she was going to be spending time with us for Thanksgiving. This is also what delayed me calling 911 because I was really dying to see her and I hadn't seen her in a long time. My mind wasn't in a right state at that point and I was upset. When you're in seizures, you don't think straight, so you can't really make decisions sometimes on your own. So, yeah. So, the second I get separated from my mom, I get pushed outside. They don't cover me with a blanket. It is a blizzard outside, and I immediately go, I stiffen up. Now, to them, they thought I was in another seizure state. What I know now is I went into a freeze state. We'll talk about this in later videos. Currently going through issues with this now. I was in a freeze state. I was fully cognitively aware. I heard the lady say to the person, whoever was pushing the ambulance thing, you thinking what I'm thinking? Yeah, pseudo seizure. Now, the way she said it, the vernacular, she was saying that as in, I think she's faking it. I was separated from mom at this time. I could not yell to my mom. I could not verbally signal to my mom. Mom was getting in her car, warming up the car, putting the dog away, doing all this stuff so she could get ready to go to the hospital and meet me there. I'm put in the ambulance. They're trying to get her set in. They're trying to get the IV in. I'm brought into the ambulance. They're sort of mumbling things around me. As soon as I get into the ambulance, my arm is slammed down, but my joint is stiff, but she slams my arm down and says, "Quit your shit, I know you're fucking faking it." I still can't talk, still can't move. Can't verbalize anything. My eyes are shut though. I go between a freeze state and a seizure at some points. She's bending my finger backwards, physically pulling it back. They were told not to touch my leg because I have neuropathy. She takes her thumb, shoves it into my leg with my neuropathy. I can't verbalize that she is creating excruciating pain. She takes her finger and takes her nail and tries to shove it into my fingernail, into the cuticle. Not testing it like this, which is what they're supposed to do. She takes her finger and I can feel her shoving it and digging it in. And then I can hear, they start to move. They get the IV in. She's quite abusive. At some point she slams her fist, and it's not like a sternum rub. She takes her fist and she sort of smashes it into me. You can argue all you want with me. I know what happened because I was fully cognitively aware. I wasn't in the seizure, I was in the freeze. She pokes me with something, and then all of a sudden my stats start to go up. It's probably because I was fully aware of what was happening, wasn't able to verbalize it. Then she takes and injects me with something, and instead of injecting it nicely, she takes her fist with the needle and just goes and wiggles it up and down in my arm and just stabs me with it. And then I don't remember anything for the rest of the ride. But before that happened, I remember her saying to her trainee, "I know she's faking it. What 30-year-old just randomly starts having seizures?" Let me tell you this, anybody can have seizures at any time in their life. She also said, I knew she was faking it when I came into the room and I said her name. She responded. Well, lady, let me tell ya, it's because I wasn't in the seizure when you came in the room. I was in and out of seizures. You can be post-ictal and ictal. Post-ictal is there's before seizure and after seizure. You can still be cognitively aware, but still be confused. There's so many things about seizures that people don't understand. There's a lot of stigma with seizures. When I woke up from whatever mess happened, I was at the hospital and I touched my chest and there was a welt and it hurt, and then it clicked that all happened. And I didn't say anything right away. because I wasn't registering that it happened. Then I got scared. Then I was embarrassed. Then I didn't want to say anything because I didn't want to be a tattletale. Then I realized I had to say something because I don't want this to happen to other people. Then I told my mom, and my mom just, she didn't know whether to burn the whole place down or freak out. So she immediately left and got the advocate. Hospital advocate immediately came to my room. I did take some pictures, but by the time I took the pictures, things had slowly faded away, but there was a thumb mark on my leg. I had a welt on my chest, like I had like the welt, but it wasn't like picture worthy. We got a Christmas note from the hospital, but you really don't get information from those people on the actions that were taken, because that's private. It's like, well, I'm a person that it happened to. I would like the information, because now every time an ambulance shows up to my house, I want to know who those people are, because I fear that that lady is still working, and that company is the same company that comes to my house every time. So I want to know if that person is still working, but it sounds like action was taken by the manager or something. I also want to know if there's cameras in ambulances. I feel like things should, like a camera should be on EMTs. Those are just my opinions. But yeah, so that all happened before I even got to the hospital. That's North Memorial in Minnesota. And yeah, that was North Memorial Ambulance Service. It was reported. No need to make a scene with them. So yeah, got to the hospitals. The seizures just kept rolling. They attempted to give me ketamine. That did not help the seizures whatsoever. In fact, it enhanced the seizures. And things just kept going and going, and this was not helping the next situation, because I was not there for the seizures, which nobody was getting through their head. Nobody was understanding I was not there for the seizures. I was there. I was in pain. All they were seeing was this person jumping up and around the bed. Our primary complaint of why we called 911. We called 911 because I couldn't pick up my head. All they saw was this person having a seizure. It was really frustrating. So they gave me ketamine, they gave me this, they gave me that, they gave me all these different drugs. Finally, they gave me something that just went from 60 to 0 so fast, because it was a neurotransmitting drug. Ba-bing. And all of a sudden, for the first time in months, I went from having 800 plus seizures to nothing. It was like, holy Hannah, that's amazing. This feels great. My tremors went away. Everything just stopped. What did you just give me? At the same time, they pulled a couple of the meds that I was taking. And we asked the other places, are these meds causing problems? Nobody wanted to have this discussion at other hospitals. Mayo didn't want to have this discussion. The U of M didn't want to have this discussion. Only other hospital that had brought it up was Unity. And this lady said, I think you need to stop taking these medications. They're interacting with each other, creating a problem. Personally, I wasn't ready to have that discussion, because those meds I'd been on for so long that they'd been helping me, and I couldn't imagine being off my ADHD medication or my pain medication. I wasn't ready for that discussion. I'm a huge advocate for getting off those medications now, but like at the time when you're a person taking those medications, you aren't ready to hear that. On the other side, so ready. So we pulled these medications, gave me a neurotransmitting drug, and all of a sudden I went from this person that looked like this, having seizures all the time, barely could talk, to being able to lay still in a bed and sleep. I lost 40 pounds in 3 months. I had 800 plus seizures, couldn't eat anything, couldn't walk, and couldn't pick up my head, and all of a sudden I was able to get out a sentence. This happened in like a day. I was really grateful. Really, really grateful. But then the question was, why did that happen? Why was I having a problem with those meds? Was it just a random interaction? What was happening? This will take 9 months for people to figure this out. 9 months. Shouldn't have taken 9 months. Shouldn't have taken 9 months for people to figure this out. Shouldn't have taken 9 months for people to figure this out. They should have right there been like, let's look at something, but they didn't, and I wasn't in a state at that point to be like, hey, I think it's this. Because I didn't know about this at that time. So I was at the hospital for 3 days, and on the 3rd day, right before they released me, I finally just yelled really loud, but what about my neck? Because nobody questioned that I was going to the bathroom on a bedpan, or not getting out of the bed, or not walking. They just assumed I was disabled. I said, what about my neck? They're like, what about your neck? I was like, I can't pick up my head. I've been there for 3 days and nobody's been like, how's your neck? We're giving you pain meds for what? Hello, people. I came to the hospital because of my neck. You haven't done scans. You haven't done MRIs. Nobody's checked my neck. Nobody. Nobody's looked at my neck. Nobody 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 looked at my neck. So right before we left, they're like, oh, let's just run a quick CT, make everything okay. Ran a quick CT, of course, everything was normal. That also took 9 months for people to figure out. Let's just say things weren't normal. The saga continues. You guys. You guys. Things are normal. Let's just say when doctors are like, the stupidity of this story and these doctors. I don't trust hospital doctors at all. I just It's normal. No. No, sir. No, sir. It's not normal. No, sir. It's not normal. It's not normal. It's not normal. Okay, yeah, so we got over that. So then I was sent to a nursing home because Mom was like, I'm not bringing her home. She can't walk. Now she can't pick up her head. She's using a bedpan to go to the bathroom. We're sending her to a nursing home. It's Thanksgiving weekend. Nobody's taking inpatient now. Nobody can put her into a rehabilitation center because she can't do 3 hours of therapy. Where do you go? A nursing home. So we didn't know how to do that whole situation thing. We knew one place that I'd been to before. It was like the Rolls Royce of nursing homes, hoping to get into that one. Well, because I'd been to that one before and I was there for a really long time, they were like, nope, we're not doing this again. So we went from the Rolls Royce to the ditchweed, the tumbleweed, the no man's land. And I'm gonna leave it here. I ended up in the ditchweed of nursing homes. To be continued. The saga.